Hello guys, welcome to Players Guild. My name is Loki and I'm joined by our lovely, lovely guild master that we haven't seen on the channel for a while.
I've been here in spirit. Christmas spirit, I guess. I don't know. We're back here. Oh, that's great because we're actually talking about battle spirits. I didn't even mean it like that, but I'm gonna go with that. That's
Happy
amazing.
accidents.
Wow. It's been a hot minute since I've been on the channel. Yeah. But we are here talking about a new or revived TCG, I guess. I don't know how
Technically
we
it's a
talk
new
about it.
TCG because it's not... It's a revamped TCG, I guess, because it's not actually directly connected in any way to the original Battle Spirits, beside the fact it has pretty much the same rules, pretty much the same cards,
Hmm.
just different card pool.
Yeah.
But the rules are from the
Yeah.
further part of the game because we have soul cores, we do have burst cards. From what I've seen on some of the effects of the cards, we're actually going to have ultimates as well, which is cool. Ultimates, you probably don't know what it is.
No idea. I,
So,
I I don't have any
so the
connection to
spirits
battle spirits.
start on level 1, 2, and 3, right? Like we can
Hmm.
see on this one, you have 3 different levels. Ultimates start on level 3.
Oh.
They're
Do they
really
go to four,
powerful
five, and
cards.
six?
They go 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Or 4, 5, 6. That depends on the ultimate. But they're really powerful cards that are like your major finishes.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
So I'm really cool. It's really cool to see them. And sometimes those are the cards that have the 2 symbols, so they can deal 2 damage to someone.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, let's get into it then. So we're starting with the red dragon deck. Nebula Dragon Andromeda is a star dragon. So in the top left we have a number 6. What does that mean?
So the card is normally costing you 6 cost to play, but then you
Hmm.
see the 3 next to it. That's the
Hmm.
reduction cost.
Okay.
And
So do you want to explain what the reduction cost is?
yes, because I assume you don't know exactly much about the game. So in
And
the
just people in
bottom right
general.
corner, you see a crystal, right? The gem in the
Hmm.
bottom right. So in this case,
Yep.
it's a red one. This serves 2 purposes. One, it tells you how much damage this spirit does if it attacks connect to the player. So how many
Hmm.
calls are removed from their life. And 2, those symbols are counted towards the cost reduction.
Hmm.
So that 3 on the cost reduction you see, you can reduce the cost by up to 3 by having total of 3, at least 3 red gems on your board in game.
Hmm.
So if you have 3 of those Nebula Dragon Andromeda on the board, you can play the 4th one just for free energy, or
Hmm.
free mana, or free cores.
Hmm.
That's how the system works in here. And yes, you do have cards that have multiple colors on the cores, because we are talking about the cards that have multiple cores. You have
Hmm.
cards that have 2 or 3 cores, and you have cards that have a discount of different colors. Famously, the god cards have a discount of 1 of each color.
All right. Okay. So you can mix and match colors then.
You can mix and match colors. There is no leader card. There is no restriction on building. You can build any colors you want together.
Mm.
And the cards that have those crystals on them are Nexuses and Spirits. Nexuses are essentially like artifacts or places or buildings, etc.
Yeah, I think we've got a few in the spoilers that we can talk
Yes.
about. So,
Yes.
so spirit is like your creatures. I think that's
Yep.
pretty much a given. And then we come to the next unique-ish thing about this game is the leveling system. So, if you want to again go through the explanation on the
So
leveling
the
system.
leveling system is one of the most important strategic parts of this game that you will need to learn to master if you want to play this game.
Mhm.
As you play the spirit, beside paying its cost, you need to move cores from your reserve or other spirits or nexuses to this spirit, so it has at least level 1.
Mhm.
As long as it has those cores on it, it's going to keep that level. You can put more cores, and as you can see, if you have 3 cores, it's level 2. If you have 5 cores, it's level 3, sorry. And then its
Mhm.
power changes depending on what level it has.
Yeah.
Purple is a color that manipulates those cores. It removes your cores. But
Uh,
during your turn,
mhm.
during your main phase, if you prefer, when you are able to play the cards, you're also allowed to move the cores between the spirits and from your
Mhm.
reserve to your spirit. The cores on the spirits can also be used to pay for other cards.
Right.
The
Ah.
moment spirit doesn't have enough cores to keep the level 1, it dies.
Right, I was going to answer that. So it's like,
Yes.
say if I had a card, another, we'll use this card as an example. If I had a Nebula level 1 and then I moved its core to this new one that I play, would that
Then
old one die then?
the old one would die. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
If the spirit doesn't have enough to have its minimum level, that's an important one because that's both for spirits and ultimates.
Mm.
Nexus's minimum level requires 0 cores, but Nexus can also level up.
Okay.
And as we can see here, it's going to be different effects depending on what level you have. This is a starter deck, so a fairly simple one. Doesn't matter on what level you summon him. He will always do the same thing, which is select one of your opponent's spirits with 3,000 or fewer battle points, or one of their nexuses and destroy it. And this is really strong effect, not for removal of the spirit, but this
No,
is
Nexus removal, right?
yes, the flat out nexus removal is scary. I've seen this card in the first spoilers, and I mostly play defensive, as you know me.
Mm-hmm.
And a good portion of why the defensive engine is a nexus that says your on block effects also activate when you attack.
Mm. Yeah, so that's really good. And then we have its level 3 effect. So while the spirit attacks, it has confront, which means they must block if able.
Yes.
So I've not seen anything with blocker. Do cards automatically block in this game?
Yes, any card that's untapped can block.
Cool. So
that's pretty much
it's
as
not like
simple
a
as that.
keyword. It is just a thing that these cards can do.
If they can, they need to block it. The blocker works pretty much the same as One Piece and Dragon Ball. So you just rest your spirit, and then the battle happens there.
Mm-hmm. And then no piercing or anything like that once you've
there
destroyed
is no
the spirit,
piercing. No, there are. I'm not sure if in this set or in future sets there are effects. If this spirit destroys your opponent's spirit, deal 1 damage to them. But those are very rare and few between.
Yeah. So next up, now that we understand the cards a bit, we've got Galaxy Dragon Andrometos, which is a 4 cost with a reduction cost of 2, so potentially being a 2 cost.
Yeah.
Does Star Dragon, so I'm seeing this is like probably their species or type.
This is their type, and this is one of the more tame types as far as I've seen so far. They have really cool synergy, and I'm looking to build this deck because I've already looked through those. I also want to mention something for people who are not used to Battle Spirits names yet. This is one of the shortest names you're going to see on the cards in the future.
Really, I already think that's long, but yeah, we'll get into it. So we have the level 1, it gets 3,000 battle power. Level 2, it's 4,000. Level 3, it jumps to 6,000.
Yeah.
So I like how it's not just an increase of 1,000; like it actually does matter.
It's not a flat increase, yes.
Yeah, you also see the cost increase. So it's 1 for level 1, 2 for level 2, 4 for level 3.
Yes.
So then when you summon him, when you summon a Star Dragon Spirit card, count each symbol on the spirit as 2 symbols when calculating the cost reduction.
So when he attacks, he still deals 1 damage, but for the reduction, he counts as 2.
All right. So if I have 2 of, say I have 1 of him, and
the
another
next one already is going to cost only 2.
Yeah.
Because he's also reducing another copies of himself.
True. It's not. It's not.
It's not another.
Right?
It's not the first one. It's as long as he's on board.
Yeah. So, and then in the case of if you had 2 of the, no, it'd still only be a reduction of 3 on Nebula Dragon because it only has 3 red pips.
See, you're getting there. There is a maximum reduction you can get. There are cards that get a bigger one, but it's very rare you can find a card that reduces its cost to 0.
Which is good. I like that.
It's amazing. I think the only free place you can get is a couple of vanillas.
And then we see. And then, when we see this, when the spirit attacks, this is only for its level 2 and level 3. So if it's level 1, it's not going to have this effect. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Star Dragon Spirit card revealed from the revealed cards to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of the deck in any order. So this is just when you swing, you get to search your top 3 for a Star Dragon, which I'm guessing is predominantly going to be the majority of this deck if you want to build it as a Star Dragon tribal deck. I guess.
Very important thing here: both players get to see those 3 cards.
Yes, because they're revealed.
Yes.
And then we have some flavor text, which you
Yes.
might know about this. I have no idea.
So there has been an amazing animation of the basic lore from Battle Spirits. So you have 6 nations fighting against each other, and each of those nations is built around this core, this gem, the red gem, purple gem, etc. And there's a world at war, essentially. And the order to invade the realm of gloom was finally issued. These events became known as the Dark Prison. So this is from the times when the Red Empire, the Galaxy Dragons, the dragons were sent in to invade the purple domain. The Realm of Gloom is the purple domain.
Right. Okay.
There's a
So
lot of world building in here. It's pretty much on par with the old Magic lore being built.
yeah, like I said, I've noticed this on a few cards. I'm very interested to see if we do end up getting a maybe not a physical one, but something we could put together of the Imperial Chronicle year 249, because it says page 56 there, so that implies that we could see other passages from that book
We can
and
definitely
really start to
build
flesh out the lore.
a lot of history here.
Yeah.
We can build a lot of history in here. The Dark Prison, I don't know much about that one, but it looks like they suffered major losses because the dragons work on very low core count on their spirits, and the purple is all about removing those cores.
Yep. So then next up we have Imperial Thunder Dragon Siege Worm, which I already love this game just for its naming conventions. As
They
you said,
get longer and longer.
they get longer, but I love it. Right? It's like when Yu-Gi-Oh has like super mega quantum alloy.
Yes. Well, yes, that was that.
Yeah. So this is a 6 cost with a 3 reduction cost, so it could be a cost of 3. The level 1 is 4k, level 2 is 6k, level 3 is 9k.
It's not hitting those levels of the Siege one we've seen as the... Sorry, Andromeda that we've seen as the starter deck boss monster, which hits the 10,000 power.
Which I'm guessing is quite a relevant number.
Yes, but that's when we're going to go to the magic, I'm going to explain the numbers.
Yeah. So again, at all levels, while when the spirit attacks, it has confront, so it forces blockers. Which, if a blocker beats you, so say I blocked with a 5k and you were only 4k, what is it? Just a successful block, or I would die?
You would die.
So this is pretty good at being like you want to probably come in at level 2 on this, or maybe 3, given that it has during your attack step.
That
all
depends
your
on what deck you play against, because there's a lot of decks that are going to go wide with small things, and they're going to be attacking you with the big thing, so they can't block with the big thing. Then you go with this, and they're forced to. The other thing you can do is there are combat tricks in here. So you can attack, they're forced to block, they think they have a safe block, and then you increase your power.
So you can increase your power mid-combat?
Yes, there's essentially an instant timing in here, but that's going to be more... We're going to talk more about that when we go into Magic, because then it's going to be easier to explain.
Yeah. So and then during your attack step, this is only at level 3. Yeah. All of your spirits will awaken, gain confront. So
this is... You're going to see the awaken keyword, and I remember that keyword... I hate that keyword, because I'm a defensive player, and this is an aggro keyword.
Right.
And on top of that, it forces the blocks, so it forces removal. So if you want to be an aggro player, you can very easily do that. If you don't want to force that block, you can remove counters from this for the awaken. You're going to see what the keyword is.
Bring it to 7, right? Sorry, level 2.
Exactly, and you don't have that confront, so your opponent's not forced to block.
Yeah, so again, there's a lot of like min-maxing strategy that you can already see kind of.
The game, even when you play aggro, is all about the board control, because as you see, the more you control on board, the cheaper your cards get.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a very strategic game, and there's a lot of thinking on what you want to remove. That's why confront is strong keyword as well, because you force your opponent's cards to be in rest.
Yes. Yeah. So it is a Star Dragon. It is an ancient dragon, so maybe more playing that in the future. Star Dragons are the world police, and the Imperial Thunder Dragon is an ally of justice.
Siege Worm is one of those names for the dragon that I've seen rolling through a lot of sets in Battle Spirits in the Japanese version, so I'm happy to see it here.
Cool. So then we go on to our lower end of the spectrum now, I guess, because this is a one cost with a reduction of 1. So
this is the vanilla.
I'm correct. This can become 0.
That is correct.
Cool. I'm getting it. But like you said, this is a vanilla. This only has a level 1, 2, and 3. And its highest level here, which is 3, has only 4k power, which you compare it to the card we last looked at, that was its level 1.
Yes. And also it requires 3 cores on this one, unlike 5 cores. So there is always bits and pieces for and against, right? In the worst case, it's a 0 cost, put 1 core on it, and it's a blocker.
Yeah, everything is a blocker, right? I
Exactly.
guess that's one thing that I'm struggling like to just comprehend because it's like I'm so used to blocker as a keyword or an
Yeah.
ability. But yeah, I guess like if you look at it that way, yeah, that's really good. It's 0, 1 soul,
And it's also a
1
star
core.
dragon.
What is this thing that
Core.
we should be calling it? Core,
Core. Yeah.
core.
So those are cores that you use to pay. They're your life. They're levels. It's essentially one resource is used for your life, for paying for the cards, and for leveling up.
Which is really cool, right? Like it doesn't get bogged down in the well, you've got this for this thing and then this for this thing. It's like it's
Yeah.
all one system.
As you
Go
take
nuts.
damage, you increase your available mana pool, essentially.
Yeah,
Because the
which is
damage you
like a nice
take
comeback,
goes into
right?
your reserve and you can use it to pay for stuff.
And that's a natural comeback mechanic. The more damage you take, the
Yes.
more resources you have. I really think strongly like that is a really cool way to balance
And
and
it
swing
doesn't
things in
limit
favor.
you from the cards going from your deck there, so you're not limiting the cards you can potentially draw when you need them, and you're not betting on those triggers.
Yeah. So in the 200 years since founding the Empire's ideals and authority had deteriorated to a pitiful degree, Star Dragons believe they inherited responsibility for its security as a whole. However, the occupants of other realms felt that they merely used the Imperial name to enforce their own morality and reap their own rewards. Interesting.
Yeah. So the
Interesting.
dragons are not exactly liked by other realms, as we can see
Yeah,
over here.
but they're like, we're the peacekeepers, and then they're like, fuck off.
Yeah. We've seen that a few times in our world, right?
Yeah. I like how it's like it does set up within it itself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well these like so from someone who has no knowledge of battle spirits apart from they have a Gundam set in Japan, like I'm getting these are like the police of the universe, and then other realms are like not okay with that, which is interesting. Like, and
Yes,
that
because
sets up a lot of geopolitical stuff as well if you want to get
yes.
into it that way. Um,
Then moving on, we have a quicksand dragon. It's another vanilla.
hmm
So this
this one doesn't have a level 3.
it doesn't. Yes, there are cards that have only 2 levels. I don't think there are any cards that have only 1 level.
Okay.
So this one
So,
costs 3 with
mhm.
maximum of 2 reduction. Level 1, 2000 power for 1 core, and level 2, 5000 power for 3 cores. So it's a nice and simple power. It's another Star Dragon because the whole deck is about Star Dragons, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And more lore. While the Star Dragons were generally regarded as bothersome, Siege Worm alone was held in high esteem, both within the realm of fire and without. And who joined his unit became the object of much envy. So
So
here we
is
have that
Siege
build.
Worm a singular, or is it like a namesake?
Siege Worm is the dragon we've seen earlier, the one that gave you Awaken units
Yeah.
confront.
So like that's its name then.
That's its name. That's a named character, the same as Andromeda is a named character.
Right.
The Quicksand Dragon is one of many.
Right. But Siege Worm is one.
Siege Worm is
Andrometos and Andromeda are
yes.
named characters. Right, I'm with you now. I'm getting it. Okay, that's cool.
And then
That's
as we
really
keep
cool.
on progressing, we've already seen in the set we're going to have evolution of Siege Worm.
Yeah, that's the big looking.
Yes,
alien
there's
dude,
another
yeah.
Siege Worm in there with Awaken skill.
Cool. So then Moonbird Dragon, which I love
And
the artwork on this card.
there we go. And we have the most hated keyword.
I'm guessing Flash. No, Awaken. Right.
Awaken.
Okay. So we'll break it down. So 4
Yeah.
costs with 3 reduction ability. It is a Star Dragon, obviously. Level 1 3k, level 2 6k, 7 to get to level 3 here. That's the highest we've seen for level 7, level 3.
Yes, but there's a very good reason for that. So for
Okay.
starters, it reduces its base cost down to 1. So it's a very cheap.
Oh right, I get yeah. Like
Yeah?
it's cost in the top left.
Yeah, exactly. And then Flash means essentially instant timing. You can do it at any point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can read what the Awaken does. You can remove any number of cores from your other spirits and place them onto this spirit when destroyed effects are not triggered by this effect.
Oh, so say if I had one with like 3 tokens on, 3 cores on, and it was like when destroyed, get X, and I removed all 3 cores to put it on this, it's like it's not going to proc that because it's used from Awaken.
So what happens? You play this as a 1-drop with 1 core on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you attack with your first big guy. Then you
Yeah.
attack with this. If you want to give it confront, you let Siege Worm have his counters, his cores first. and then your opponent blocks, and then you move the cores from Siege Womb here, so it becomes an 8k randomly on an instant timing. And you can move any amount of cores. You can kill one of your other units to protect this one. It's also not once per turn.
Right, okay. And then so Star Dragon seized control of the Realm of Gloom's port during the Dark Prison. They confiscated all goods to discourage thoughts of resistance. Interesting. So they did occupy some land in the dark, in the purple territory.
But Awaken is a scary keyword that can make them grow. And you never know if they're going to do. You never know what's the strategy behind that. It's just a scary, scary keyword.
Fair enough. Then we got this guy, which I absolutely love because dinosaur, Blade Dino Parasaur. It is a potential 2 cost, but it is a 4 cost with a 2 reduction. This is not a Star Dragon.
It's a Pterosaur.
It's a Pterosaur, which gives me hopes that I can make a dinosaur tribal deck at some point.
Yes, you can. If I remember correctly, there was a dinosaur god at some point.
I'm okay with that. It's the reason I got into Magic, when Ixalan introduced dinosaurs, and then so level 1 is 2k, level 2 is 5k. Level 1, 2, while the spirit attacks, it has Confront. We've gone over Confront quite a bit in this video. And then at level 2 only, when the spirit attacks, you may pay this spirit's
Soul Core to
draw a card. So we haven't really gone over Soul Core yet.
No, so in your starting pool of cores, you get 1, and for the whole game you get 1 Soul Core. If it's sent to the Void, which is out of game, it can never be retrieved. It's a very unique mechanic, because you can put it on your Nexuses, you can put it on your Spirits, and then there are cards that, while this card has a Soul Core and a certain level, it has this effect. Or in this situation, while this card has a Soul Core, when you attack, you can pay it, so it goes to your trash, so you receive it, you reuse it at the start of your turn, and you get to draw a card. Besides that, Soul Cores work exactly the same as any other core. It's just they are used for those specific effects.
Interesting.
So it's another strategic level. Where do you place your Soul Core?
Yeah.
Where is it available?
Yes. Dense tropical jungle grows in the southern part of the Realm of Flame, controlled by anti-Empire dinosaurs that clash with the Dragonoids. Yep, I'm sold. I'm sold. Give me all of these. Okay, so that's it for our spirits.
And now we're going to go into Nexus. Or Nexi. I think Nexi is the plural version.
Which I... Like, if you just ask me, I feel like Nexus is like a field or an enchantment.
Yes, it's a field card, it's an enchantment card. It can be a place though, so it can be an artifact card as well. It can be an item. It can be multiple different things, because those are nexuses of power. So this is where the power of the cores converge and can support your spirits.
Right, okay.
Think like a crossing of ley lines for Magic, etc.
Yeah, okay.
So it can be a battlefield, as in this situation it's called battlefield because it supports what the red represents. For purple it's going to be graveyard because it's all about the dead ones. For yellow it's going to be like a park or a theme park or something along those lines because they're all happy-go-lucky. White is going to be arena, or it's going to be a mine. So everyone has their own little what represents the given core to give that power.
Right, okay. That's cool. And so do these cards stay on the field, or...?
That is correct. You play it, it stays on the field, cannot be attacked. The cores pretty much cannot be removed.
So this is where, I guess, Andromeda comes in as being super scary.
Is set 1, and I think set 2 either had like 2 cards total that removed Nexuses in the old version.
So Nexus removal, do not sleep on it.
It's always worth having. We need to wait to see if it's going to be best of 3 game and if there is a sideboard. Because if there is a sideboard, that Andromeda might be going into many decks that are not red.
True, I guess
it's a 6-drop to remove a Nexus.
I was going to say, right, like, you can just pay 6 for it.
Yes.
You only get the reduction of 3 red if you have the red little plips. So if you're saying playing white, for example, it would just still have to be paid for 6. But there's nothing stopping you paying 6 for it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you see where the deck building complications
Yeah.
come from.
Yeah. So then we've got 4 here. I also like how, depending on the card type, the top left changes.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
because
that's
it
just neat.
represents what it is to make it easy to represent. Not only trying to find for it says Nexus in there, because I don't think we're going to get a full art, like no text at all, but
Hmm.
that would be cool.
Yeah, so Scorched Battlefield has a 4 with a potential 2 red reduction.
Yeah.
Level 1, level 0, nothing in there, which I guess means it's got no power, but it does still have levels, and I think
It
that's an
has level
important
1 as
thing
long as it has 0 or more cores,
to.
and then it has level 2 when it has 2 or more cores. It has no power. I think there was a moment where Nexuses could transform into spirits.
Oh, okay.
So you gain the cores, it becomes a spirit. I might be wrong on that. That might be in a fever dream. Don't quote
Either
me on
way,
it. But that's
so
why it's
at
there.
level 1 or 2, during your attack step, all of your red spirits gain 1,000 battle
1,000,
power.
yes.
Um, and then level 2, during your attack step, draw a card when you reduce your opponent's life. So this really promotes heavy aggro, go in, try and chip away at your opponent's life because you get the advantage there, I guess.
It's also not once per turn, and you can control more than one.
Oh, so this could stack.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's a kind of scary card, especially because this also counts as a reduction, right? So
Yes, that is correct. That's why Nexuses are such a crucial point of many strategies. That's when I've seen Andromeda, I was like, yeah, aggro needs something like that, because otherwise all the control decks and even mid-range decks just run away against aggro, because they're going to build their Nexuses and they're going to start dropping more cards and remove the aggro cards, and at some point, yeah, they're going to be at 1 or 0 life, but they're going to have all the control, and the
Yeah.
opponent won't be able to do anything. So Andromeda removing those Nexuses, just flat out saying no, is huge.
And if they've got cores on that Nexus when it's destroyed, they go to the trash, right?
They go
They
to
get
the
them
trash.
back, but like
Yes, for that
Yeah.
for that turn, it's the same. The calls that were on the spirit go to the trash. They don't go to the reserve. So reserve is when you can use it. Trash is essentially your graveyard, right? The same
Yeah.
place that your cards go. Actually, fun enough. Fun fact: your cards go to the trash and your calls go to the trash. It's exactly the same place. Just your calls
so
at the start of a turn go back to your reserve.
So then let's talk about our final Nexus we have. And these are all in the deck. I can't stress this enough. This seems like such a great deck for people who just want to get in and learn the core basics of this game.
It has very nice, close, tight interaction with itself, because we've seen all of that playing with the Star Dragons. And here we have another piece of support for the Star Dragons, and this is a Star Altar. So this is not a battlefield, as you can see. This is a very specific place that is used to pay tributes to the Star Dragons.
So this is a free cost with a reduction possibility of 2. Again, just like the old Nexus that we saw, it's a 0 for level 1, and then at level 2, it's got to be 3 cores. But in level 1 and 2, during your stat saves, when one of your spirits with a soul core on it is destroyed, select one of your spirits, place all the destroyed spirit cores onto it. Now, does that include the soul core? Because it
Yes.
says spirit cores. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So this is really good. So then,
Yes.
you basically have the dinosaur getting you draw effects, and then
No, because Dinosaur needs to remove that soul core.
oh right,
He needs to pay it. That's why he needs to pay it.
Okay.
So this doesn't work. But yeah, if multiple of your cards, of course, you're still sacrificing cards there, right?
True.
As you keep on sacrificing cards, yes, you move those cores somewhere else. You restand. You don't restand. You just make a bigger attacker, but then you still lose those cards. It's a strong effect, and it's strongest when you go for game.
Okay.
Because then they need to block in such a way that their spirit dies and not yours. But again, because there's only one spirit with a soul core, it makes it very difficult to achieve that.
Right. Yeah. So it has to have the soul core to transfer.
There you go.
Yeah. I get you now.
That's where Awaken comes in.
Yeah.
Because Awaken just moves that soul core to itself.
Right, and then especially if it like flashes instant time. So in a hypothetical, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I could bring the soul core there if it was gonna die, and then I'd be able to resolve this. Yeah. So then during your attack step, when one of your star dragons is blocked, you may exhaust this Nexus to refresh it. Which that's kind of wild.
Yeah. So exhaust is tap, switch to rest mode.
And refresh it, switch it to active.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really cool card.
That is a really scary card. It's cool. I like it. I do hope all the other colors also get some sort of Nexus removal because it's needed.
Yeah. So then we'll rock on to Magic.
So here we're going to talk about that flash step a bit more, because pretty much every Magic card or majority of Magic cards have two effects, and you choose which one to use. One of them is, for example, as you can see here, main, draw 2 cards. Amazing effect. Pay 2 mana to draw 2 if you have 2 red symbols on board, or even pay 4 mana to draw 2. It's amazing. You can do it only during your turn, during your main phase. But then you also have the second effect. We can pay the same cost and give one of your spirits 2000 power for the turn. And that can be used at the flash timing. It can be used at instant timing. And pretty much I think all or majority of the Magic cards have it. That's why you want to include Magic in your deck. This is to dissuade you from playing only spirits.
Right, because this is utility, right? So I could do it in my turn to draw 2 cards, but if I need the extra step, I can give 2000 battle power.
I'm forcing you to block. You have the good block, and I'm going to play this. Do you want to, you don't, I see you don't have any cores in your, you don't have any refreshed cores, so all the cores you have available are in your spirits. Do you want to spend some of those cores to make your spirits smaller, or kill some of your spirits to make sure you win this battle? If not, then I'm taking your blocker with me. Yeah.
So that's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, that's a very cool system, and that charge draw is one of the cards I want to put in my white deck.
Yeah, right. I mean, just pay 4 for
draw 2.
Oh, just pay 4 to draw 2, right? Like,
even playing a couple of the red Nexuses is quite good.
Interesting. Then we have a card that I absolutely love the look of, Landmine. Just boom.
So we have yet another mechanic, burst. So you can set during your turn. You can set a burst card. You can only have one burst card set, and in this case you get a condition. This case is when your opponent destroys your spirit. You select one of your opponent's spirits with 3000 or less battle power, destroy it. Then, in this case, you can pay the cost of this card to activate the flash effect to give something else 2000 power. So that burst effect you can only use when one of your spirits is destroyed. It can be during your turn.
Even the turn I set it?
Yes.
Interesting. I like it.
But you can only have one burst card set at a time.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense.
And then you do have that option. You can pay 2 to give something 2000 power, or you can keep it in hand if you have multiple ones. It still has that utility. I'm going to essentially combo 2000.
Yeah, I think it's good. I really like it. Question, which I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just for the sake of the video.
Yeah.
If this is set, I can't use the flash.
No, flash needs to be used from hand. You can activate its flash effect if you activate a burst.
Yeah, but I'm not like if that condition is not met, I can't use its main.
You can't activate this card if it has been set as burst.
Yeah, cool. That's I figured, but it's good to have that. And then we have Firewall.
It's another burst card, and this one is so scary. This one is designed for a white deck, which is primarily defensive, and I don't know why it's in the red one.
So it's a 4 cost with 1 red reduction. It's got burst, which we've already discussed.
Yeah.
When you lose life, so when you take damage, you get to, from any means, right? Not just combat, just if you.
Yeah, whenever you lose life.
So let's one of
life is put in your trash or void.
Yeah. So that's one of your spirits. It gains 4k for the turn. When you may play, then you may do the flash. Spirits with 4k or fewer battle power cannot attack during this turn. So this is one that you can definitely you definitely kind of want to have back in your hand, right? Especially against a going wide aggro deck.
Yes, but even if you set it as a burst, right? I set it as a burst. I keep some blockers. They attack with something small. With something big, and they have slew of smaller attacks to finish me off, because that's how aggro goes, right? Wide.
Yeah.
They attack in. I'll let that in. I'll make myself a big blocker, and then make all their small things not being able to attack. This is a great card against Awakened decks.
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
usually want to move after their attack. In this case, they need to move before their attack.
Hmm. So lots of cool things to see with this.
And that's the last card from the red starter
Yeah,
deck.
so that's the red starter deck. A really cool look at the game. It introduces quite a few mechanics, which, can be alienating. But I think all of it kind of makes sense contextualized, right? And that's why we've been doing it in this video, is just going over it from the news perspective. So that everyone can feel the same and not be feeling alienated. Because it is a lot to throw at someone, right? You show someone this card, they're going to be lost if they don't know much
Yes.
about the
Yeah,
game.
it's just generally showing someone Battle Spirit card is just when you play with it, it's quite easy to get a hang of it.
Mm.
But just seeing the card's design on its own can be a bit intimidating. Also worth mentioning that this is not a full starter deck. We are missing 4 cards from the list
Oh.
that have not been spoiled yet. Because I
Oh.
just looked at the card numbers, and we have
Ah.
1 through 7, and then 12 through 16.
So, not a complete look at the red starter deck, but a very good one to get the basics of what the deck's going to be like. And introductions to Star Dragons, which I think is a really cool thing. It confirms dinosaurs, which is already the best thing in the game. And yeah, there's a lot of cool things to like in just this Dragon Onslaught deck alone. And of course, when we have the full thing, we'll be doing a product review. So do stick around to the channel for that. In the coming days, we'll have a video on the purple and white deck, as well as the yellow deck whenever it gets revealed.
I think yellow deck is going to be in the New Year's by now.
Any final thoughts on Battle Spirit Saga? Loki, anything you want to say?
I absolutely love the game. I can't believe that it's been last year when I was talking to you and a couple of other people how amazing Battle Spirits used to be, because we were just talking about
True.
general card games and how amazing it would be, and it's such a big regret that the game died due to lack of marketing in the past.
I mean, that's one thing they definitely
overshadowed by
covered this
Naruto.
time. The
That's one
marketing
thing
has
I'm
been
surprised.
phenomenal.
This is a topic that we're going to do a cardcast on,
Yeah,
but Bandai went in on the promotion of both games,
yeah.
One Piece and Battle Spirits, which are coming back to back.
Pretty much, right? Like One
November
Piece
and April. That's pretty
One Piece
pretty
massively
close.
launched. Like sold out success. I don't know if we'll see the same success for Battle Spirits, but with the prize money on the line, I think it's going to attract a lot more competitive
They're
players.
trying to attract different type of players, but that's a topic for a different discussion that we need to have at some point.
True. So come back again, guys. The channel is full of card game content for you to go and watch in the meantime. I've been Scott Sedman, the Guildmaster here at Players Guild, joined by Loki Smith. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and we'll see you next.
So, as it ends up, on Facebook, they actually had the missing 4 cards.
So we're gonna cover them quickly. So we've got Dragner Shock Trooper. So this is a 2 cost with 1 reduction.
Reduction.
1 reduction for red. It is a Dragnoid. So this is the people the dinosaurs clash with, right?
Yes, so those are the on-ground inhabitants of the realm of Flame. As we can see in the actually flavor text, the Dragonoids are the Star Dragons and the Lynx and perform most duties.
Like, it's already got a great idea and flavor of the red deck, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
So
I absolutely love
level-
the games with a flavor text because it gives you so much about the game.
Level 1, a 1k, which is fine for such a low cost card. Level 2, it's 3k. Level 3, it's 5k. And then all 3 stages, it has a Flash Awaken, which we've discussed why Awaken is a really strong keyword.
And that's why for the power, the level costs are quite steep. But the problem is you can just keep on bouncing, because this is on flash timing. Your opponent attacks into it, and it's just, I'm going to make it 5k.
Yeah, also, like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, my opponent's about to kill one of my cards.
Yeah.
I awaken Flash and take all the spirit tokens, spirit calls onto this card.
Yep. Or alternatively, this one has 1 or 3k, and your opponent is trying to kill a spirit with 3k power. I'm just going to make him 5k.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you have 2 spirits with Awaken, it's very difficult to remove them. You need to attack above both of their powers, essentially. And then remember that they can still have magic.
Yeah, which you can already see the complex and depth and strategies there. And these are just basic cards, right? These aren't your end game creatures.
Yeah, this is one of the basic keywords at this moment.
So then we get into Blazing Boar, which is the Emperor Beast.
Yep.
Sure. It's a 4 cost with 1 red reduction. Level 1 is 2k. Level 2 is 3k. Level 3 is 5k. And then at all 3 levels, when summoned, select a red spirit card from your trash and add it to your hand.
This
That is
is
crazy.
you just bring back Andromeda or Siege Worm.
It's nuts. Oh, you just killed my big thing. Cool. Here,
Yeah.
here, I'll just get it back.
And I get a body on top of that, right?
Yeah. Realm of Flame is obstructed by volcano fumes, leaving many areas largely unexplored. Undiscovered clans are thought to be numerous. Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So it's an emperor of a
Beast.
beast clan, yeah.
That's
Important thing is that this is not limited to what it brings besides it's a red spirit.
Yeah, no, so no cost or anything.
There's no cost, there is no tribe, and in the future there is going to be multicolor spirits.
Oh, it'd be a given, right?
No, with this system, multicolor is actually not as broken as in other games, which is amazing.
True, I guess the only kind of scaredness for multi is the reduction cost being able to be like 1 card reduces 2 colors, but I guess that's just me right now with having not experienced it.
Yes, that is true, but usually if it reduces 2 colors, it's 1 of each color.
Okay, that's not terrible then.
And usually the multicolor cards, the most powerful one, just have 1 of each color as a reduction cost. So it's very difficult to get the full reduction on them.
Okay, fair enough. So then Dragon Trooper is a Dragonoid. Again, coming back to the Dragonoids. This guy is a level 1 with 1k, level 2 with 3k. When it attacks, it gains 2k at any level, which is actually quite nice.
So it's an interesting
because this
one,
is essentially free.
Because it can go down to 0, right? It's going to be one of the better attackers because it goes down to 0, put 2 cores on him, and he's a 5k attacker. And 5k is a good number from what we've seen so far. So the difficult one is going to be getting to grasp with what is the good number.
Yeah, finding those hard numbers, like 7 in one piece, right? That's a really good number to hit. And it will be just figuring out those through lines, which will happen in time. Dragonoids are responsible for most of the Star Dragon's ill repute, cleverly guiding them to promote their own interests.
So this is the follow-up on the story we've seen so far in the starter deck, right? In the lore. The Star Dragons are not lagged. They're not lagged because Dragonoids are just essentially abusing the authority that is granted to them by the Star Dragons.
So it's so fascinating. I genuinely am falling in love with the lore. And finally, the last of the cards that we definitely knew existed. Dragon Captain, Dragonoid. He is a 3 cost that has a 2 reduction. At level 1, so this is a vanilla.
Yeah.
It's a level 1, he's a 3k. At level 2, he's a 4k. And at level 3, which is only 4, he's a 7k. I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he's quite big.
Pretty good.
He's quite big.
And then if you want to read the mountain of text.
So also another thing I want to mention is I love how majority of the vanillas just so much flavor text.
Yeah, just here's the lore because we can.
Dragonoids have 4 arms, with only one of them dominant. And while most of us with 2 are right-handed, the majority of Dragonoids favor the lower left. Those lucky enough to favor the upper left arm are more dexterous, and are apparently conferred higher status among their peers. Dragonoids with height, education, and a dominant upper left arm tend to be the most celebrated. I love this!
That's amazing. That is genuinely
so
much character.
Another part of that heavy lore of why Star Dragons and Dragonoids hate each other.
No, they've got one that they like.
It's an upper left arm that counts.
Yeah, if you're good with your upper left arm, you're better than the rest of them. That's great. That's a great way to cap this off. So again, guys, if you haven't,
this is the end. This is an actual end.
Yeah. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing breakdowns for every single card in Battle Spirit Saga. We'll be doing reviews when the set comes out. We'll be playing in tournaments. It's what we do. But if you also like card games, there's plenty of content on the channel from One Piece, Dragon Ball, Flesh and Blood, and whatever else we find interesting, really.
As they come.
So, yeah. I've been Scott Sedman, your Guildmaster, joined by Lucky Smith. We'll see you next time for Purple.